Hello everyone, my name is Arianna Actis and I'm a PhD student in Chemistry and Material Sciences at the University of Turin in Italy. Today I'm going to talk about my research, which is focused on the investigation of the photophysics of the excited triplet state in carbon nitride. This is a solid-state semiconductor that is widely studied at the moment as a photocatalyst. Among the several species that are generated upon light absorption in a semiconductor, triplet excitons are metastable states, which play a role in determining the photocatalytic and optoelectronic properties of carbon nitride. In particular, in recent years, several theoretical studies have suggested that the excited state in carbon nitride is characterized by an inverted singlet-triplet energy splitting, so with the triplet state lying at higher energy respect to the singlet. This property is a peculiarity that characterizes several types of materials, such as carbon nitrides, and distinguishes them from more common chromophores. But it might have important implications in photocatalysis because it might help to preserve in time light excitation. In order to investigate this property, I exploited the fact that triplet excitons are paramagnetic species, in contrast to singlet excitons, which are instead diamagnetic. So this allowed us to apply the electron paramagnetic resonance spectroscopy, EPR, which is able to identify and characterize paramagnetic species with a unique level of selectivity, especially compared to optical spectroscopies. And in this research in particular, I applied the time-resolved EPR. This consists in applying a static magnetic field under a continuous microwave irradiation, while the sample is irradiated by a monochromatic light pulse. This generates the transient paramagnetic species, the triplet state in this case, whose signal is then collected as a function of time.
The main result of this study was the first observation of a metastable triplet state in an extended solid-state semiconductor. Moreover, repeating the time-resolved EPR experiment at different excitation wavelengths showed that the signal displays different intensities, which allowed us to reconstruct an absorption band for the triplet state and to extract the triplet signature from the general optical behavior of this semiconductor. On the other hand, the fluorescence excitation spectroscopy allowed to map the efficiency of the generation of the singlet state. Therefore, the comparison between these two trends allowed us to identify the spectral region where the generation of the triplet exciton dominates over that of the singlet. From the maximum of the triplet absorption band, we could also assign an energy to the triplet exciton, and this was compared to that of the singlet, which in fact corresponds to the bandgap of the semiconductor. This allowed us to complete the energy diagram for carbon nitride by defining the energy of the triplet state and by locating it in the energy landscape of the semiconductor. So this is an important experimental observation of this singlet-triplet energy inversion, which is expected to influence the photocatalytic properties of carbon nitride. And in fact, my current research is now focusing on studying the interaction between the transient triplet state and specific types of molecules absorbed on the surface of the material.
In conclusion, I would like to thank all the people who supported me in this research, and of course thank you all for your attention.